Hey everybody, it's Kyle. So last night I was talking to a good friend of mine I hadn't talked to in years, and he asked me to share with him maybe the most difficult part that we've experienced as parents that have kids on the spectrum. And it came to mind almost immediately because a few years ago, when my first of my two sons on the autism spectrum went through puberty, when he was about 13, he was as big as my wife, and he started to become violent. And I don't know why he wanted to hear the worst part of it. I think he was just interested in it. You know, he's outside the community, doesn't really know much about autism. But in recalling it, he said, you know, that's probably a story you should tell other people. And I don't know that I've told many people about this, but it was a struggle. And so here's what happened. When he turned 13 and he started going through puberty, he started becoming a man. And his meltdowns turned from just your typical meltdowns. Well, I guess there's no typical meltdown, but a meltdown where he cried and he, you know, maybe screamed and he was unhappy. And when he was little, he would kick holes in walls sometimes, or he would smash things. And we had gone through that phase when he was little and kind of worked him out of that due to some of the stuff we had done to manage his meltdowns. But when he hit puberty, his meltdowns started to ramp up. And he started to become violent with me and my wife. Now, with me, not so much of a big deal. I'm a very physical guy. I grew up kind of in the hood, and I've been beat up plenty before, so I'm not really afraid. So when he became violent with me and started taking shots at me, or I won't go into too many details about what happened, but I knew how to handle it, and I was able to manage it reasonably well. I had to relearn a lot of stuff, but it was very difficult for my wife because my wife is very feminine. I love that about her too, but she's very feminine, and that my son being violent towards her or threatening her, and not just threatening but physically charging her, was a low point for our family. You know, I have two older sons that are typical, and it wasn't unusual for them to step in between my son on the spectrum and my wife and protect her. And when you're afraid of your own son in your own home, it's a bad, bad, bad thing. And so for us, that was really, really a low point. And I'm so grateful that we decided that we had to manage ourselves in a way that was different so that we could help him understand and de-escalate him quicker, so that that didn't last for too long. I know there are kids out there that when they hit puberty and they start to get physical, it gets worse and worse and worse, and they get bigger and stronger, and it can really, really become a challenge for those of you that have that situation in your life. But it was really, we understand, because it was a tough time for us. But I want you to know, if that's your situation, there are things you can do as a parent to help them and to put yourself back in a situation like we are now, where he still gets escalated and he still ramps into where he can want to become physical and violent. But my wife has a process she goes through now with him that almost immediately lowers his aggression level and really kind of takes some of the energy out of that part of his nature. He still does it with other people because they don't know how to manage themselves in a way that helps him get through that. But I understand when your son on the spectrum is violent and you're afraid of him in your own home, man, that's just a bad deal. So what I want to do is let you know that it can be solved. It takes some work on your part as the parent, and it takes extreme control and managing yourself in a way that is best for them. And you know, when they're at their worst, they need us at our best, but that's when it's the hardest. Fear will make you do things that you wouldn't normally do. And we experience that as well in our family. So if you want to know more about how to manage that, maybe private message me. Let's talk about it. If you're in that situation now and it's happening way too regularly, certainly PM me and let's talk. We want to help you get through that, and we want your home to be a place where you're not afraid, where there's happiness and joy. That's what we experience. That's what we want for you. So PM me if you need to. It's our family's goal to help. We want to see families thrive. We want to see your family thrive, even as you raise these kids on the spectrum. And if you watch our videos and you like them, please like them and share them with whoever you think they can help. We want to get the message out there as much as we can. So have a great day. Let me know how I can help. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.